Hello YouTubers, it's Zion Prepper, and I'm going to do about a 3 or 4 minute video on one of the tenets of prepping, and that is the survival triangle. As you can see, on each corner of the triangle you have critical elements. At the top you have water, food. Moving to the right you have protection, and moving to the left you have shelter and heat. And in the middle you have energy. I've seen some triangles with the energy portion and some with not. I do believe it is a critical part of prepping, so I've included it. Now at the top you have water and food, and if you cover that up it leaves two: shelter, heat, and protection. And basically what that says, if you don't have water and food, that your shelter, heat and protection are in jeopardy, because if you don't have water to hydrate or food to eat to keep the calories and the energy going to sustain yourself, it won't matter what kind of protection you have. It won't matter what kind of shelter or heat, because the potential is there that you could simply perish. Moving to the right you have protection. If you cover up that one, water, food, and shelter and heat are in jeopardy. And basically you stored your preps and you're in your shelter, and in the middle of winter you're nice and warm, but if you don't have anything to protect yourself, then you're open to thievery. I mean, you're open to gangs of people who could come in an SHTF situation and take what you've worked very hard to accumulate over a period of time. So that's an extremely important one. And in protection, it also can mean protection which can be used for hunting, so you can look at it as not only handguns, rifles, shotguns, but also bow and arrow would be a good one to add there as well. Now your shelter and heat, if you cover up that one, then your water, food, and protection are in jeopardy. Basically, if you have no shelter and you have no heat, you have nowhere to store your water and food, and you have nowhere to call your own, and therefore you're going to be in jeopardy in that. So that the premise of the survival triangle is, if you cover up any corner, the other two are in jeopardy. Now the one in the middle is energy, and the first thing you think of when you think of energy is electricity. So you think of backup generators, you think of solar power, you think of wind energy, you think of hydro energy, which is water energy, or geothermal energy. Those are critical components, but you also have other types of energy that are necessary to sustain yourself, for cooking, for heat, and that could be propane. Propane is used in both stoves and heaters. It could be natural gas, provided you have natural gas. It could also be, the big one is wood. We have a wood stove. We have a Yukon M1950 that we keep only for emergencies, but it's a wood stove, and if we did get in trouble, that is the form of energy we would use to heat our house. So what I just wanted to do in the 3 minutes or a little bit more was just present the survival triangle, and this is the model you use to begin prepping on, to make sure that you have each corner of that triangle covered in your preps. And remember, one of the critical components is redundancy. Redundancy. Make sure you have multiple forms of protection, multiple forms of heat. Shelter, you might not have multiple forms because the cost can be pretty high, but you might have a bug out location in a primary home. There's your redundancy. Water and food, that should go without saying. You should have multiple forms of food, and you should have multiple sources of water. That could include rain barrels. That could include 50-gallon drums that you store in your house. I have a water buddy that I put in the bathtub, and that holds about 100 gallons. And also, if you got in trouble, your hot water heater has water in it as well. Ours has 40 gallons. So basically, the redundancy in each of those corners is critical, as well as in energy too. So this is Zion Prepper signing out. Thanks, and happy 4th of July.